Hello and welcome back to the World of Warcraft Legion beta. Today we will be testing out the Windwalker spec for monks. It has changed just a little bit. As far as I could tell, a lot of the spells are the same, but some have minor differences, minor changes. If you're looking for something in particular in this video, you can check the description. I will have annotations to times you could jump to if you're looking to skip maybe the scenario and go straight to the class hall, or if you're just looking to check out the talents. I'll have times you can go to for that. I do want to show you I am on a template character, so this is 680 gear I am using. So if you are much better geared than that, when these quests go live, you will have a much easier time. One more thing before we get started, we'll take a look at some of the new passives. For this spec, we have Afterlife. When you kill an enemy, you summon a healing sphere, healing you for 46,152 when you walk through it. When you kill an enemy with a Blackout Kick, you have a 50% chance to summon a Chi sphere, granting 1 Chi when you walk through it. We have our new mastery is Combo Strikes. Our abilities deal 22% more damage when they are not a repeat of the previous ability. So, obviously that will be a higher percentage if you have better gear and have much more mastery. And finally, Windwalking. You and your allies within 10 yards have 10% increased movement speed. Okay, let's go ahead.
Need help?
And talk to this guy here. It's good to see you on your feet. The members of the Council of Six are recuperating from their ordeal. The intensity of the teleportation spell can be disorienting. It seems you lost consciousness for a time, but at least you didn't awaken to find yourself stuck in a wall. Dalaran has been relocated to the Broken Isles. From here, we will spearhead the effort to acquire the Pillars of Creation and drive the Legion from Azeroth once and for all. And when you turn in this quest, you will receive your Dalaran Hearthstone, which is essentially your new Garrison Hearthstone, and 5 tomes of the Tranquil Mind, which are used to respec your talents, either out in the world, in dungeons, or in raids, as long as you are not in combat. So make sure you're hanging on to those. As you can see, I don't have any quests. I'm looking around, nothing on the map. We just have to run around Dalaran a little bit. And eventually, our artifact and class scenario quest will show up for us, or we will be prompted. So this is my first time doing the monk class hall, or any of the scenarios for the monk. I have not played a monk since Mist of Pandaria, so this will be interesting for me as well.
Hey, message for you from Grandmaster Height.
I've been looking all over this strange city for you. Grandmaster Height has requested all senior monks to return to the Peak of Serenity as soon as possible. That means you too, of course. I'll bet a week's worth of brood that this has something to do with the assault on the Broken Shore I've heard tales about.
Have a safe journey.
So, we'll use Zen Pilgrimage here to head to the Peak of Serenity and start on our way. You have to excuse my voice. I'm a little bit stuffy. It's been pretty terrible weather as of recently, and my allergies are not holding up well. So I do apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off.
Ah, it's good to see you again. Now that we are all gathered, let's begin. As you all know, the defeat at the Broken Shore was decisive. The loss of so many valiant heroes was a terrible blow. The Burning Legion is a grave threat. We must find a way to stop their assault before all that we hold dear can be... By the Jade Serpent, what was that?
Grandmaster Height! Grandmaster Height! A giant thing appeared in the sky! Demons are appearing!
Oh, good lord.
I need to get closer.
Chong, are you alright? Speak to me.
Oh, my head. The demons. I cut down the students before my eyes. heard shouting from the cave of the crane. I don't feel so good.
Brace the west door. I don't want any more surprises. Now, let's see what's going on out there. No, this cannot be. There are too many of them. We have to evacuate. I need you to send any survivors you find back to the temple. Chong mentioned the Cave of the Crane, so start there. Hurry! We must escape before we are overrun!
I see you, monk. Your struggle is for naught. My forces will purge your order from the face of this world.
I need to target something first. Begone, foul creature! You will not harm any more of our sacred texts. Thank you, friend. My students died to protect these scrolls. Centuries of history could have been lost. Chen Stormstout was teaching a class of youngsters when the attack began. He's one of the strongest monks I know, but even he won't be able to hold out forever. Come, we must rescue them. No good. We don't have time to fight our way through that horde. If I focus my chi, I believe I can get us behind their forces. Quickly, take my hand. This is worse than I feared. We must part ways. They need my help here at the temple. Chen's class should be just to the north, across the bridges. Jade Serpent, watch over you. I am out of range.
Did you think you could hit me with that?
You cannot hide from me, monk.
You
Try
have
as
strength,
you might,
but lack
your
speed.
monastery will burn.
Run, children! I will protect you from this monster!
You got this, Uncle Chen!
Hey! Over here! Thank you for the assistance, friend. That foul creature put up quite a fight. Children, behave yourselves. Come, children. We must get to the temple. Hero, I will need your help. The complex is crawling with evil. Infernal incoming! Watch your head! Grandmaster Height, it is a relief to see you.
Chen, I'm glad to see you and the children are safe.
It was all thanks to this hero.
It's
who
good to
arrived
see
just
you.
in time to help us out.
Well fought, but we're not done yet. Chen, take the cubs as far away from this place as you can. This champion and I will stay and seal the portal. White Tiger, walk with you, my friend. We cannot allow the Legion to establish a foothold here. We need to close that portal down.
You are stronger than you look, monk. But I will not be defied. Jorvanax, keep that
demon will
portal
just open another portal if we don't take care of it first. Prepare yourself!
It is too far away.
Well done! That Fellstone must be powering the portal! Destroy it! They're coming through!
Okay, so now that we've finished that little scenario, we are at the Temple of the Five Dawns, which, as you can see when this UI pops up, on any character means you are in your class order hall. So, we are now on Shenzhen Su, I believe, is the name that she used. This is our... I don't know why that's there. This is the turtle from the opening quests that we do in the monk... or for the monk, rather. And so we have returned. And this will be our class order hall. which is pretty awesome to reuse such a cool asset, such as the giant turtle. But let's head up and talk to Fearsome Jang. Welcome back to the land of the living. We nearly lost you in that explosion. Lucky for us that the Wandering Isle happened to be traveling nearby. The people have graciously allowed us to reside at the temple. It's not like the Peak of Serenity, but this will make a fine new home.
White Tiger watch over you.
It was a miracle that you were able to survive. It is with great sorrow that I have to say that Grandmaster Height was not so lucky. His spirit now rests with the ancestors. Now we must look to a new leader for our order or our broken temple. I've spoken with the other masters, and we are all of one mind on this. We all agree that new leader should be you. You have shown strength, wisdom, courage, and kindness beyond measure. Walk with us to the temple, and we will announce our decision.
Enough of that.
Excellent. I have everything prepared inside. Follow me. To all members and students of our combined schools, I offer you my thanks for joining us. The attack at the Peak of Serenity shows that the Burning Legion wishes to shatter our order. They will destroy our homes, defile our sacred temples, and strive to break our spirit.
But as we teetered upon the brink of annihilation, this hero stayed with Grandmaster Height and fought the demons to ensure our survival. Grandmaster Height has passed on to join the ancestors, and we are left with a void in our ranks. It seems fitting that the hero who fought at his side, who displayed courage and valor immeasurable, should succeed him.
Let us all give honor to the Grand Master. May she lead us with strength and wisdom. Monks, our greatest challenge still lies ahead. Under our new master, we will send a message of defiance to our enemies. They will not take our home without a fight.
And there we have it. We are the new leader of the monks. Oh, enough RP walking.
You are most
Congratulations, Grandmaster. And we, for some reason, we're having the Zen Pilgrimage casted on us, which we already have. I wonder if that gives us a second one. Or did that just change this? Yep, it just changed our Zen Pilgrimage to the Temple of the Five Dawns now. So our Zen Pilgrimage is our ability to come to the Monk class Order Hall now. It no longer takes us to the Peak of Serenity. The Burning Legion took us by surprise at the Peak of Serenity. We will not allow them to do so again. We have trained hard, but we need weapons capable of destroying this great evil if we are to have any chance of success. Our scrolls speak of several weapons that should prove suitable, but we aren't unable to decide which one to pursue first. The choice, Grandmaster, is yours. So that will bring up this UI, which gives us the option to choose what weapons we will be pursuing, or what weapon rather we will be pursuing. Obviously for this video we will be pursuing the Windwalker, artifact weapons, the Fists of the Heavens, Alberk, and Alraed. Two fist weapons that you can see right there are item level 750 to begin with, and obviously you will be progressing that through the Legion expansion. And just to let you know, you will be able to go back. I believe it's at level 102, and I'm not sure about the third. It might be 110 or 105. It's either 105 or 110. I'm not quite sure on that. But you can eventually go back and get these other two weapons, the Mistweaver weapon Shaylun, Staff of the Mists, and the Brewmaster Fuzan, the Wanderer's Companion. I will have videos on these two as well. They do have catch-up mechanics as well, so if you decide you know, quarter of the way through the expansion or a few weeks in, oh, Windwalker's not for me. I think I want to go Brewmaster. I want to go Mistweaver. They do have catch-up mechanics, so you can put artifact power into your weapons quicker, and you won't be so far behind that you can't get into a raid or something like that. So don't be afraid to pick up your other weapons for being able to play the other specs. It's fairly easy for you to catch back up with the other weapons. So here we go. Travelers returning to the Isle from abroad brought with them an intriguing tale. They describe an ancient pair of hand blades said to grant their bearer the power of the storm. Little is known about these mysterious weapons, but if their legends are true, we should consider searching for them.
You have the eyes of one who has traveled
As you
much.
wish, Grandmaster.
Family,
Nothing.
friends.
There's next to nothing on our records about this
These
weapon.
are what
I've checked and
matter
rechecked and
most.
can find barely a shred of a tale. This can only mean that the story comes from a land outside of Pandaria. Lily Stormstout is young, but she is the most traveled on the entire Isle except for you. If anyone might know of this weapon, it is she.
Slow down. Life is to be savored.
So, we're going to find Lily Stormstout, Chen's niece, I believe, and she will help us on our journey to find the Fists of the Heavens. Here she is at the Laughing Crane, and let's see what she knows. Oh, this music. I hope you guys can hear this. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, let me think. I heard it back when Uncle Chen and I were still traveling the world before we found the way to Pandaria. We were in Booty Bay one night, staying in a place called the Salty Sailor. While there, I met a giant creature who called himself a Tolvir. We chatted for a long time, and he told me of his homeland, a place covered in sands called Uldum. It is really dry and covered all with sand like a big kitty box. I briefly went there with my Uncle Chen. I wish I could see it again. So, according to the story, thousands of years ago there was this smith called Urmat who used to live there. The smith was known all throughout the land for his excellent work in creating magical weapons that represents the air spirits that live there. His finest work was said to be a set of hand blades that were formed from the essence of pure air. The story goes on that he attempted to summon the Lord of the Winds to imbue the weapons with its power. That didn't go so well for him. According to the story, the Lord of Air was filled with great wrath and decided to play a trick on Urmat. The Lord of Air imbued the weapons with the purest form of his essence, knowing that Urmat could not possibly wield such power. Urmat named his creation the Fists of the Heavens, and held them to the sky to admire his work. This was a mistake, for when he did this, it conjured a great vortex of swirling sand and air that was completely out of his control. The vortex scattered the smith's blades and buried his home under the desert sands. Wouldn't it be neat if the blades were real? I'd give anything to get out of here and go search for them.
All right, let's go.
Do you think that the story is true? I bet you could control the power of those blades.
Bye now.
Oh, I'd love to go see if that story is true, but Pops is too busy stuffing his gut and being a grouch to let me go do any real exploring. He even told me that I can't leave the village unless I have a guardian. Is Pops for real? I can protect myself just fine. Say, would you be my guardian? Please get me away from this boredom and you will totally be my hero.
Okay, see you around. Okay, Pop, it's been something. I need to get on with my travels.
Lily,
Hey!
I told you I don't
gotta
want
go
you going
already?
off on your own again.
I thought you might say that. Look, I have a guardian, and it's even the master of the monks. I'll be fine.
Clearly, nothing I say is going to change your mind. Fine. Go on your adventure. Just come back to me unharmed.
Yay! Okay, let's go.
Well, okay. It looks like we will be chaperoning Lily.
My friend, Mr. Crane, can fly me to Uldum. Here, you can use my kite to follow us.
Yeah, go fly a kite.
Okay, Mr. Crane, here's 2 juicy fish if you'll take me to Uldum.
Okay, and we are on our way to Uldum, which is one of my absolute favorite zones in the game. It's been a long time since I've been here.
This is so cool.
Hey there, what took you so long? While you were traveling the long way, I've been doing some research of my own. King Phaoris offered to help us as long as we can take care of a problem for him. I'm sure you'll be able to handle whatever it is.
Take me with you.
I know the tale of Ermat well. It is said that his home was the ancient city of Amtul, long buried under the desert sands. Recently, a strange storm has appeared over the ruins. What's more, I'm told that an elemental called Nader has attacked my people in nearby lands. These events must be related. Find this Nader and put an end to him. Make sure to search his body for clues as to what is behind this. Okay, well, let's head out. Hey, I'm neutral with the Ram Gehen on this character now. Fantastic. That'll be my goal. By the end of beta, this Windwalker monk will be exalted with the Ram Gehen. Not really. Alright, let us head up here and see what the business is. Find this Nader. Oh, he's an air... Did they say he's an air elemental? Or is this him? I'm very confused. It's an air elemental named Nader. Like Tornader. I got it. I got it.
I am out of range.
Hope the Tornader is down and we have the essence of the whirlwind. So now we're heading back to King Phaoris, it seems. The essence of the whirlwind. Small and lightweight, it feels like it could float away on a breeze. I'm guessing this has some significance. Let's find out. The zone truly is beautiful. They did a very good job on this. It looks even better now. With the little storm. Oh, well, storm's gone. Storm was only over there, guys. Everything's fine. Legion's defeated. Go home. Have you found anything? So, you found this stone upon his body. Interesting. Let me take a closer look. This stone is saturated with elemental power, possibly the remnant of the magic used against Ermat. If you went outside and held the stone aloft, it should unleash the stone's essence as a mighty whirlwind. So potent a windstorm could carry you and your companion all the way to Skywall. If the hand blades of Ermat, the fists of the heavens, are as powerful as the old tales say, they would certainly be found there.
Ooh, magic! Hurry up, let's see what it does.
Okay, we're gonna head outside and click on the essence of the whirlwind. Oh, and there we go.
Get me out of this thing! Oh, my head still feels like it's spinning. Oh, hey, what's going on over there? Hello? Hi!
Mortals! In my domain! They must not disrupt my plans! Slaughter them!
They don't look so happy to see us.
I need a target.
These tornadoes simply won't do. Want to see a trick my Uncle Chen taught me? Whee! Bet you can't catch me! Pretty neat, huh? Look at those big, sparking orbs. I wonder what happens if we poke one.
I need to get closer.
Puny mortals, you tread in my realm now. There is no one to save you.
Hey! Blah, blah, blah. You know, you sure do talk a lot.
Insolent whelps! Witness the powers at my command! Borak! Waraid!
I do not have
Small
a target.
victory. Enjoy it while you can. Come forth, servants of the storm! Defend your master!
It is too far away. I need a target.
Answer your master's call!
Can't we all just get along? No? Okay then, you asked for it.
I am out of range. I need to get closer. It is too far away.
Unacceptable! Malazan, Destroy them, or I will cast your miserable essence to deep Holm! These mortals will not die! Zawarak! Defend your master!
Holy smokes! Dragon! It's taking off! Or not. Oh, hold on! I'll figure out some way to follow you! Just hold on! Do me a favor, and never tell Uncle Chen I was this high up, okay?
Are all of my servants my winds shall rip you apart!
Whoa, this guy is like super tough! Do you think we can beat him? Yeah! You got this!
I am out of range.
That was awesome! I was like, oh no! And you were like, leave it to me!
Okay, and we've defeated Typhonus, or Typhonius, and here are the Fists of the Heavens. Let's go ahead and claim our artifact weapons.
This has been a fantastic adventure! We explored the desert, punched a dragon in the face, and even got you something shiny.
All this adventuring's making me sleepy.
Let's head back to the Wandering Isle.
Okay, and you did see when we got our weapon, before we head back, we did get ourselves a new ability. It costs 2 chi. It's called Strike of the Windlord. This is an instant cast with a 40-second cooldown. And it will strike with both Fist of the Heavens at all enemies in front of you, dealing 104,425 damage and reducing their movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. And we will check out that animation a little bit later. So let's head back to the Wandering Isle. Skywall's pretty cool. Okay, well that didn't take long. Apparently it's right next door. Here we are, back at the Laughing Crane with our awesome music. Hopefully it's still going on. Okay.
What you doing?
That was a fantastic trip. We really should do this kind of thing more often. Now that you've got those blades, I bet there's going to be a bunch of adventures ahead. Maybe I should just stick around here a while.
All right, let's go.
And she just, like, disappeared. With no quest. Usually there's a follow-up. Interesting. Let's see if there's anything up here now. Aha! So we have to come back up to the temple.
Tell me of your
Master,
travels.
we have discovered a new technique that allows one with great focus to shape chi with magical objects. This technique should allow you to considerably improve the abilities of your new weapon. This technique requires a great deal of focus, so we are limited to only a single upgrade for now, but that will have to do.
May you find mastery in your passions.
So, you can see the Forge of the Roaring Mountain is right here behind us, but before we click on that, let's actually take a look at our weapons. What they look like on our character. Kind of cool. Looks like kind of a little roaring whirlpool in the middle. Do keep in mind there are transmogrifications available in Legion, specifically for these weapons. You can also transmog it to anything you want. So, if you have something that you like a hell of a lot better until you get one of those transmogs, or if you just don't like those transmogs of these weapons in general, you can just make these whatever you want them. Okay. So now we've taken a look at those. Let's go ahead and click on the Forge, which brings up this UI, and of course it shows the item ability that we get just from equipping it, and that leads to Dark Skies, which is a 1-rank passive, increasing damage dealt by Blackout Kick by 15%. You can see that costs 100 artifact power, and Blizzard gives us that 100 artifact power for finishing up our quest line and for the purposes of the tutorial. So if we click on that, you'll see that it opens up the rest of the traits that are available on the weapon. There are also 3 golden dragon portraits. These are the traits that are the most important. These are the ones you're going to want to work towards first and foremost. Obviously, you're going to reach one of these before this one on the other end. Make sure also when you choose a direction to head in that you're okay with that. Eventually, you will have all of these traits filled out somewhere down the line. I think they said it could take 3 months, three or more months to fill this out. Obviously, if you're a super hardcore player and you just get the best RNG ever, you might fill it out a little bit faster. But it can take a little bit of a while. So make sure whatever you're choosing in terms of your major trait that you head for first is the one that you're okay with sticking with for a while. There is a respec, but it costs a little bit. It costs artifact power, I believe, and it's not worth doing, especially because you're going to be filling out all of these anyway. So let's start taking a look around. As you can see, this leads to 2 different traits for our artifact weapon. Just to clarify, you can see that these cost 300 artifact power. When the servers go live, it may cost 300 artifact power for each rank, or it may be increasing. I'm not sure if they've fully decided upon that yet. So keep that in mind, that there may be an increasing cost in artifact power per rank. Also, for each rank, this percentage would go up. So for this particular one, Rising Winds, the 3-rank passive, this would increase the damage dealt by Rising Sun Kick by 9% with all 3 ranks. But I'm not going to read it off with the max rank. I'll just read it off as they've written it here, with no points in. And if you're so inclined, it's simple mathematics. 3 times 3, obviously, and for whatever numbers going around. So just be aware that those numbers will go up per rank. Good Karma. We have another passive, and this is 1 rank. Damage redirected by Touch of Karma also will heal you. We have Power of 1,000 Cranes, a 3-rank passive, which which increases damage dealt by spinning crane kick by 3%. We have Strength of Zwen, a 3-rank passive, increasing the chance for Tiger Palm to make your next blackout kick cost no chi by 2%. We have Healing Winds, a 3-rank passive. Activating Transcendence Transfer heals you for 10% of your maximum health over 6 seconds. And our first major trait, Crosswinds. This is a 1-rank passive. During Fists of Fury, Wind Spirit images of you attack your Fists of Fury targets for a total of 32,536 additional physical damage. That leads to Tiger Claws, a 3-rank passive, increasing damage dealt by Tiger Palm by 5%. We'll move over. Actually, we'll do this one first. This is a Transfer of Power, a 1-rank passive. Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick increase damage dealt by your next Fists of Fury by 5%, and this can stack up to 10 times. Let's head this direction. Death R, a 3-rank passive, reduces the remaining cooldown of Touch of Death by 10% if the target dies while under the effects of Touch of Death, or from Touch of Death. We have Light on Your Feet, a 3-rank passive, increases dodge chance by 3%. And our second major trait here, we have Gale Burst, a 1-rank passive, increases damage done by Touch of Death by 10% of all damage you dealt to the target during the duration. That's really useful. I like that. Fists of the Wind, this is a 3-rank passive, increases damage dealt by Fists of Fury by 3%. We have a Spiritual Focus, a 1-rank passive, increasing the damage dealt by Storm, Earth, and Fire spirits by 5%. Here is Inner Peace, this is a 3-rank passive, which increases maximum energy by 10. And Tornado Kicks, a 1-rank passive, Rising Sun Kick strikes a second time for 15% additional damage. So we've taken a look at all of our traits. You can see up here we have some slots. These are called Artifact Relic slots. You will get relics for these through questing and through dungeons and even through raids. And they add passive item levels to both of your main hand and your offhand weapons, and they will also add passive ranks to some of these traits, meaning even if you have 3 of 3, let's say in Strength of Zwen, you can have 2 from this one that would make that 5 of 3, so that would increase the percentage even higher. And I'm not quite sure, I haven't seen any of these for the 3rd relic slot, which by the way is unavailable to you until you finish your Monk Order Hall campaign, which is kind of a long class hall story that will take you well into 110. So I think the ones from raids can add to these 3 major passives. I'm not 100% on that, so take that with a grain of salt. And that may have changed. I remember someone was talking about that at some point, so that's all I remember from when I was playing at 110 on the beta servers. Also, once you have put something into these slots, once a relic is slotted, it cannot come back out. Blizzard has stated they have no plans to allow us to remove those. So, and watch, 2 days from now, I'll hear from someone on MMO Champion that they changed that and you can take them out. But as of now, you are not able to take these back out. You have to socket something over top of it, and whatever is in that socket is destroyed. So make sure it's not really that big of a deal when you're leveling, but when you do hit 110, make sure the choices that you make is not a side grade that you're just looking to test out, because you will destroy whatever is in that slot. You can see we have a 1 here in the corner that I want to point out. Every time you purchase a trait, up to 34 traits, you will gain passive stamina increase of 0.75%. So every time you're adding, purchasing something with artifact power, eventually you'll end up with a bunch of extra stamina. And if you are a healer or a tank, you also gain damage. For the DPS classes, we just gain passive stamina. As well as that, we can open that UI by shift right clicking in our inventory or in our character pane. We can bring this UI up anywhere in the world. We can put relic slots in anywhere as well, so you don't have to worry about coming here every time you get a new relic, because you will get them quite often. But you do need to come to the Forge of the Roaring Mountain to put any artifact power into your weapon. Also, I would not suggest coming here every time you have, barely enough to put an extra rank in here. I would probably finish out a zone eventually. You'll be prompted to come back here through questing for story purposes. and then you can stop by the forge and put all your points in. The only time I would suggest maybe coming here is for putting a point into one of these major traits, these major passives, because they are super useful. The others, they're just minor damage increases. You're not going to be hurting very badly if you don't come here. Every single time you have 300 artifact power. So let's talk to Iron Body Punch.
What wisdom do you
This
seek?
weapon is truly amazing, yet much of its potential remains untapped. If we are to end the threat of the Burning Legion once and for all, we will need to fully unlock its power. Your weapon is stronger than ever. Now is the perfect time to put it to use and take our fight to the Legion. Master Su has set up a command table by the training grounds and has collected reports from our friends and allies around all of Azeroth. When you are ready, Grandmaster, you should have an update prepared for you.
Family, friends.
Okay,
food.
so let's go ahead and head to the training grounds. I do want to check something on the other side over here before we go. There are some other things I want to show you in the class order hall, although I think everything is kind of neatly situated on that side. But I could be wrong because I've never been to this order hall before. Yeah, it looks like everything's on that other side. So we'll head back around to the other side of the building. We do need to find a few things, which I apologize, in my other monk videos it'll be a little bit easier because I already know where they are, but for right now I'm kind of in the dark about where everything is. Okay, those are just trainees. Let's see. It's a monk trainer, random guy, temple guard. Alright, well, we'll go talk to him first. Hello, friend.
What brings you
Grandmaster,
here?
I've prepared a brief report on all that I've heard about the Broken Isles. You may find it quite interesting.
May the eternal
The
sun
Burning Legion has left a
shine
trail of
upon
ruin
me.
all across the face of Azeroth. We must strike at their bases within the Broken Isles if we are to have any hope of ending this war. I put together a map of the Isles and a list of tasks that we will need to have done there. Once you've had a choice to pursue the map, a chance to peruse the map, holy crap, I'm sorry, you should choose where we will begin our assault.
Winds be at your
So
back.
here's the map right here. You can see that's going to bring up this UI, the scouting map. This area right here is Surmar. This is a 110 only zone, and these two islands you don't have to worry about at all right now. And you can see we have 4 different places that we could choose from: Azuna, Valshara, High Mountain, and Stormheim. It does not matter which zone you pick or which zone you end in, all of the zones will level with you. So if you're every level that you gain, all the mobs in all of these zones will level with you, and the difficulty doesn't really kind of ramp up until you're level 110 anyway. So you don't have to worry too much about where you're going. Just pick the zone that sounds the best to you or sounds the most interesting. Also, I do want to mention, if you are leveling with a friend, as long as you are in the same phase, it doesn't matter if you are different levels. You'll see the same mob. You'll just both see it as different levels, and it's not that big of a deal. You won't have any problems. So we'll click on Stormheim just for the purposes of the video to move the story along. An excellent choice, Grandmaster. Our friends in the Kirin Tor have created one of their magical portals to provide quick travel to Dalaran. You can find it near the steps of the temple. Okay, so you can see right here, this is our portal to Dalaran. We're able to use that to get back without using our Hearthstone. We could obviously use our Dalaran Hearthstone just to get back, but unnecessary because they gave us a portal there that's permanent. So let's take a look around before we head back to Dalaran, where we have a few things that we want to try and find here, and hopefully they're not too difficult. They're not too difficult to find. Hopefully they're down here. Okay, it appears it's not down this way, so let's head back up. There should be some training dummies and a quartermaster for us to look at. Let's see if they're inside here. Oh, here comes that good music again. Aha.
Do not loiter.
Are you our friend? Let's sell some of this junk. There we go. And yes, this is, as you can see, this young lady in the top of this building that we were in earlier sells some set pieces. The Grandmaster set, which we can equip here, so I can show you what it will look like. There we go. That is the Grandmaster set. Nothing spectacular, nothing super flashy. Of course, you can transmog this. I find this set would be useful on more of a casual player, so if you are a player that doesn't have a lot of time to play the game, this might be something that you're interested in. Also, if this is going to be an alt character for you and you don't have time to take it through raids, you just use it maybe to do world quests to get gold and such. This would be a good set for you to look into over time. As you can see, it varies in levels from 810 all the way up to epic 840 pieces, and they each have their own requirements, some being just to be 110, some of them being honored with the Nightfallen, requiring 6 champions recruited to your order hall, all the way up to earning 100,000 artifact power and being exalted with the Nightfallen. You can also upgrade some of these, actually all of these blue pieces that are below item level 840 by buying these armor kits for order resources. It works the same way as the Professions and Warlords of Draenor did for the upgrades. And then you have this item here, which I'll just show you real
Salama
quick.
Ashalanore.
You can learn Zen Flight, which you can use outside to have the little cloud underneath of you. So a lot of the glyphs that used to exist, they got rid of and they made them into toys and stuff like that. Some of them they made into toys and stuff like that. So
I have one of a kind
more time,
items.
if you want to pause the video here and look at the set bonuses, I'm not going to talk about them. Now you can pause and take a look at them really quickly.
The reckoning is at hand.
So now that we've taken a look at that, we also Mama Storm Stout, Han Storm Stout. Where in the absolute world are the training dummies? Maybe they are somewhere. They've got to be somewhere. But while we're walking around looking for this, is this them? Well, that's a tanking one. What are these? I feel like this should be those, but those are untargetable, so it can't be. Okay, what's here?
It's good to see you.
So, nothing. What are you guys doing? This is where we started at. Is anything down here? Boy, this is a this is the most confusing order hall that I've seen so far. Not very easy to maneuver around at the very beginning if you're looking for something in particular. But you can see at the top, we talked about this little piece of UI that shows up every time we enter the building, or the class hall. Every time we enter the class hall, and you can see order resources here in the corner. Order resources are used for us to send out our quote-unquote garrison missions every day, which are used for both the storyline to progress your class order hall. What is that? Oh, here we go. Where is the level 110? Or 100? Ah, here we go. Okay, so that was... I wouldn't have thought to look here. So, we were talking about the order resources. Again, they're used for sending out your missions. They're used to recruit troops, which are basically kind of like minions from Warcraft 3. We'll have our named champions, our named NPCs that are part of our order hall, and then we'll also have like basically archers or pikemen or something like that. I don't know in particular what the monk class order hall has because I would have to level up this to get to that point. But you'll be able to recruit them. They usually have between 2 and 3 uses, and they have special bonuses they give to those missions. So make sure when you're prompted, you're keeping on top of that. They will kind of give you a tutorial somewhere. I think it was maybe 105 or 106 on my 110 character on the beta when I finally got to that. Also, they are used for research upgrades for the class order hall. What that means is you'll have one of 2 choices in 6 tiers. In the final tier, you only have 1 choice. In those tiers, you can pick between certain upgrades for this character specifically, being possibly 20% increased success chance for your first mission of the day that you sent off, up to one of your 3 bonus roll seals for raids per week being free, and all the way at the bottom is the most important one, which I'll talk about in just a second. But they can take, once you get to 110, they take 7, 10, 12, and 14 days respectively for the last 4 tiers, so it can take quite a while. Make sure you're staying on top of it if you are a raider. They'll walk you through it up until 110, and then you're kind of on your own. So just make sure that you're keeping on top of that, and you don't let it go too long, because the final tier is for you to be able to wear 2 of these. You can wear 1 when you hit 110, but you can wear 2 with the final order hall upgrade, and you can see these item levels are pretty high there. Item level 895 legendary items, and they provide tons of raw stats, but most importantly they add the equip bonuses, which can range from utility, defensive, and damage dealing, or if you're healer, healing ability, etc., which would, I guess, would be either defensive or utility, but you get the idea. We'll read some of these off just really quickly so you can get an idea. You can see here the equip bonuses. The amount of damage that Touch of Karma can redirect is increased by 150% of your maximum health. Here we have the duration of Storm, Earth, and Fire is extended by 0.6 of a second for every chi you spend. And here's Touch of Death can be used a second time within 3 seconds before its cooldown is triggered. So you can see some of these will make you extraordinarily powerful. We do want to wear 2 of those, especially if you're going to be a person who's trying to go for progression rating. Okay, now that we've taken a look at that, another thing I wanted to talk about with the order resources is you will eventually, well, actually not with the order resources, but with our garrison or class order hall NPCs rather, you are able to choose between, I think it's 3 bodyguards that you'll have through your NPCs. At least that's as many as I had gotten to the last time I played. They may have extended that to more than 3, but they're usually 3 that I saw. You can take one of those, and you'll have like kind of like in Warlords of Draenor, you have your mission table per se. It'll pop up a UI. You can drag one of your NPCs down into the slot, the bodyguard slot, and they'll follow you around in the open world endlessly. They won't come into dungeons or raids with you, but say you're out doing your questing. They'll come out with you for your quests, and also they'll come out with you when you're 110 and you're doing your daily quests, which is really, really helpful, because some of them can be quite difficult until you get a good bit of gear, especially if you're a healer or a tank that doesn't do a lot of damage. You might really need that extra damage from the bodyguard to be able to progress. Okay, we've taken a look at all of those things. There are some other major parts to the class hall. There's spoilers, and also they're class specific, and as I said, I have not played the monk all the way through, so I can't speak to them specifically, and I want you to also, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I want you to be able to play through your class order hall and have kind of be amazed at the story as it unfolds, because it is pretty good. It is pretty damn good so far. So what we'll do now is I'll move on to our talents. Let's take a look at those. In the 15 tier for Windwalkers, we have Chi Burst. This is a 0.825 second cast with a 30-second cooldown, hurling a torrent of Chi energy up to 40 yards forward. This will deal 12,300 nature damage to all enemies and 11,181 healing to the monk and all allies in its path. We have a passive Eye of the Tiger. Tiger Palm also applies Eye of the Tiger, dealing 6,100 nature damage to the enemy and 6,100 healing to the monk over 8 seconds. And Chi Wave, an instant cast with a 15-second cooldown. A wave of Chi energy flows through friends and foes, dealing 2134 nature damage or 2033 healing. This will bounce up to 7 times to targets within 25 yards. In the 30 tier, we have Chi Torpedo, which would replace your roll ability. This is instant cast with a 15-second recharge. Torpedoes you forward for a long distance and increases your movement speed by 30% for 10 seconds. This can stack up to 2 times. I can actually... Yeah, we're using Celerity right now, so I'll just switch to that so I can show you. The other 2 talents in this tier, Tiger's Lust, instant cast on a 30-second cooldown, increasing a friendly target's movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds, and removes all roots and snares. And Celerity, another passive, reducing the cooldown of roll by 5 seconds, and increases the maximum number of charges by 1. In the 45 tier, we have Energizing Elixir. This is an instant cast with a 1-minute cooldown. You would chug an Energizing Elixir, refilling all your energy and Chi. Ascension, a passive increasing your maximum Chi by 1 and your energy regen by 10%. And finally, Power Strikes, passive. Every 15 seconds, your next Tiger Palm generates 1 additional Chi. In the 60 tier, we have Ring of Peace, an instant cast on a 45-second cooldown, forms a Ring of Peace around a friendly target for 8 seconds. Enemies in the ring that use a harmful spell or ability will be knocked out of the ring. Then we have Dizzying Kicks, a passive where Blackout Kick also reduces the target's movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds. And Leg Sweep, an instant cast on a 45-second cooldown, knocks down all enemies within 5 yards, stunning them for 5 seconds. In the 75 tier, we have Healing Elixir. This is an instant cast with a 30-second recharge, and as you can see, it has 2 charges. Drink a Healing Elixir, healing you for 15% of your maximum health. Healing Elixir will automatically trigger if you drop below 35% health, and a charge is available. We have Diffuse Magic. This is an instant cast on a 2-minute cooldown, reducing magic damage you take by 60% for 6 seconds, and transferring all currently active harmful magical effects on you back to their original caster if possible. So this is Spell Reflect for the magical effects. And Dampen Harm, an instant cast on a 2-minute cooldown, reducing all damage you take by 30% for the next 3 attacks that damage you for 15% or more of your max health. You can cast this while stunned. In the 90 tier, we have Rushing Jade Wind. It's cost 1 Chi, is instant, and is on a 4.95 second cooldown. Summons a whirling tornado around you, causing 21,960 damage over 4.9 seconds to enemies within 8 yards. We have Invoke Zwen, the White Tiger, instant cast on a 3-minute cooldown, summons an effigy of Zwen, the White Tiger, for 45 seconds. Zwen attacks your primary target and strikes 3 enemies within 10 yards every 1 second with Tiger Lightning for 2,709 nature damage. And finally, Hit Combo, a passive where each successive attack that triggers combo strikes in a row grants 1% increased damage and will stack up to 10 times. In the 100 tier, we have Chi Orbit, a passive where every 5 seconds an orb of energy forms and rotates around you until it impacts the enemy, or an enemy, dealing 12,198 damage to all nearby enemies, and you can have a maximum of 4 orbs at a time. And we have Whirling Dragon Punch. This is an instant cast on a 19.8 second cooldown, performs a devastating whirling upward strike, dealing 43,914 damage to all nearby enemies. Only usable while Fists of Fury and Rising Sun Kick are on cooldown. And finally, Serenity, which would replace Storm, Earth, and Fire. This is instant cast on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Enter an elevated state of mental and physical serenity for 10 seconds. While in this state, you deal 40% increased damage and healing, and all Chi consumers are free and have a 50% reduced cooldown. So, just want to make sure that everyone understands this is not an optimized build whatsoever, talent build. I just kind of picked and chose what I knew and what I thought would be helpful for me as someone who hasn't played a Windwalker monk since the very beginning of Mists of Pandaria, and like the first raids. So I just kind of took what I remembered and what I thought would be useful. And of course, in this tier, I just wanted the attack there. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the baseline abilities, and we'll look at the animations as we go through. We do have Zen Pilgrimage, as we talked about. This is our way to get back to the Temple of the Five Dawns. We did get Zen Flight, but of course, for some reason, I can't use that here. There's no flight allowed at this particular area, but anyone who has Zen Flight knows what that looks like. Resuscitate is our ability to resurrect another player. We have Provoke as well, instant cast, 8-second cooldown, which will taunt the target, and they move towards you at 50% increased speed. So if you need to taunt off somebody for whatever, because you're an asshole and you wanna turn Kazakh towards the raid right as he's about to use Fell Breath, there you go. We have Transcendence still. Transcendence is instant cast on a 10-second cooldown. Split your body and spirit, leaving your spirit behind for 15 minutes, and you can swap. So, as you can see, there's that. And here's our transfer. This is instant cast with a 25-second cooldown, and you just switch spots. Pretty cool. We also have Paralysis as a return. This costs 20 energy, instant cast on a 15-second cooldown. This will incapacitate the target for 1 minute. You can have a limit of one target, and the damage will cancel the effect. Touch of Karma has returned with an instant cast on a 1.5-minute cooldown. All damage you take is redirected to the enemy target as nature damage over 6 seconds. The damage cannot exceed 50% of your maximum health, and this lasts for 10 seconds. And this is Touch of Death, the new Touch of Death. It has changed a little bit. Let's see, the animation. That's Touch of Karma. You can see when Touch of Karma is active and when it is about to fall off. One, boom. Touch of Karma has fallen off, and you can tell that there. Paralysis, boom. Same as it's always been. I forgot to show that one. But here's Touch of Death. This is instant cast with a 2-minute cooldown. Use Ancient Pandaran knowledge of anatomy to inflict mortal damage on an enemy. After 8 seconds, the target will take damage equal to your maximum health reduced against players, of course. So, that is Touch of Death. Let's see the effect. Nothing. Just takes damage. Storm, Earth, and Fire has changed. This is instant cast with a 1.5-minute recharge time. Split into 3 elemental spirits for 15 seconds. Each spirit dealing 45% of normal damage and healing. You directly control the Storm Spirit, while Earth and Fire spirits mimic your attacks on nearby enemies. While active, casting Storm, Earth, and Fire again will cause the spirits to fixate on your target, and there are 2 charges of this. So, we'll take a look at it. As you can see, one is attacking that target over here. If I click on that, you can see the Fire Spirit came over and was helping, and they'll mimic your abilities. Pretty cool. I like that they changed this. I found this to be a really difficult ability to give a shit about before, but now that it's kind of an activatable, that gives you a little bit of a boost. I like that. Here is our heal. A Fuse, a 30 energy cost with a 1.24 second cast. This is a fast and efficient spell, healing the target for 20,516. This is what it looks like. Nothing too spectacular. It's an okay animation, I guess. We have Invoke Zwen, which we talked about as talents. There he is. I think this model has changed a little bit. He looks really cool, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that model has changed. I'm pretty sure he didn't have the blue, he was just pure white before. We have Chi Torpedo, which replaced Roll. I just wanted to show you the animation for Chi Torpedo. That's what it looks like. You can see we gain momentum from that. Woo! So, pretty cool. We also have Detox, which is returning as a baseline ability. 20 energy, instant cast with an 8-second cooldown, removing all poison and disease effects from the target. I'm just gonna get rid of you. Bye-bye. Thanks for all the fish. We have Disable as well. 15 energy cost, reducing the target's movement speed by 50% for 15 seconds. The duration is refreshed by your melee attacks. So, if we disable a target, boom, you can see it's disabled. A target's already snared will be rooted for 8 seconds instead. So, if we hit him, he's rooted. And you can see, as we're auto-attacking, the disable is continuing. If we hit this again, oh, that was blocked. Rooted again for 8 seconds. I'm sure that doesn't work. The 8 set. Obviously, there'll be diminishing returns if you're doing that in PvP, but you get the idea. Disable is pretty powerful. I don't think that's the same as it is on live, so that's definitely an upgrade for Windwalker PvP. Tiger Palm, 50 energy cost. Attack with the palm of your hand, dealing 3,660 damage. Tiger Palm has a 8% chance to make your next blackout kick cost no chi, and this ability also generates 1 chi. So, same as it is on live. Boom. You can see the ability. Oh, I think that you lost that ability that generates chi, the basic chi generating ability, which was what? Jab. Jab no longer exists. As you can see, Jab is gone. So you just generate chi through using Tiger Palm. And of course, there is the Whirling Dragon Punch, which we'll show in a second. That's the one that we were talking about earlier. Here's Blackout Kick. Same as animation as it has had. This is 1 chi cost on dealing 15,664 physical damage. Rising Sun Kick will cost 2 chi. Kick upwards, dealing 32,121 damage, and reduces the effectiveness of healing on the target for 10 seconds. Boom, as you can see, 25% reduced healing. And Mark of the Crane, increasing the damage of the monk's spinning crane kick by 50%. Okay, well, we'll look at that in a second. Also, here is Fists of Fury. This is 3 chi, a channeled ability with a 19.8 second cooldown. Pummels all targets in front of you, dealing 106,735 damage over 3.3 seconds, and it can be channeled while moving. So, boom, and we'll show our Whirling Dragon Punch as well. Pretty cool, quick ability, does a lot of damage. Pretty neat. Of course, here's Flying Serpent Kick. Soar forward through the air at high speed for 2 seconds. It's an instant cast on a 25-second cooldown, and if used again while active, you will land, dealing 2,183 damage to all enemies within 8 yards and reducing movement speed by 70% for 4 seconds. Boom. Pretty neat. I still think it's fairly useless, except for getting the hell away from people in PvP, but it's pretty good. Okay, let's generate some chi here, and as you can see, Spinning Crane Kick costs 3 chi. It's a channeled ability. Spin while kicking through the air, dealing 30,776 damage over 1.2 seconds to enemies within 8 yards. As you can see, that buff is falling off that we had on the target, so it goes back down to baseline, which is 16,264, but Spinning Crane Kick's damage is increased by 50% for each unique target you've struck in the last 15 seconds with Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, or Rising Sun Kick. So, if we hit this target, boom, and we hit this target, boom, you can see there's 2. We'll hit this one, boom, now we got a 3, and it's going to deal 40,000. It deals quite a bit, so the more targets you hit with one of your, kind of your baseline abilities here, your Spinning Crane Kick will deal more damage. Leg Sweep, which we talked about, just looks like a Spinning Kick. That is our stun talent. Healing Elixir, just a little green effect on us. A Spear Hand Strike. This is an instant cast with a 15-second cooldown. This is basically your interrupt ability. And Crackling Jade Lightning has returned. This is a channeled ability causing 3,456 nature damage over 3.3 seconds and knocking the target back. Wait, what? Nature damage over 3.3 seconds to the target, and sometimes knocking back melee attackers. I'm sorry, I'm so tired my brain couldn't process what that was saying to me. So there's the animation for that. I think it's changed a little bit. It looks a little bit better, I gotta say. I like that. I like the animation it has now. But what have we not shown? Of course, Strike of the Windlord. I have not seen this myself, so let's generate some chi and check it out. Here we go. So that was it. It kind of looks like a forward strike, a forward palm strike. Has a little bit of a wind animation. I do not have my settings on ultra, so it may look a little bit different for you. I have mine turned down a little bit, but still cool nonetheless. It did quite a bit of damage to these two targets that we were able to hit with it. So, pretty neat. I gotta say, Windwalker Monk, it kind of feels like it does on the live servers, but a little more intuitive. I feel like there's always something that I can hit, always a button that I'm able to push, while a little bit on the live servers that I messed around with leading up to this video. I feel like they've done a pretty good job of making the Windwalker spec a little more intuitive, a little more player friendly, rather than kind of boring that it was. So, guys, I do want to thank you for joining me on our little journey here through the Windwalker Monk quests and checking out our class hall and the animations and such. If you did enjoy the video, please leave me a like. I do appreciate every like that I get. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you have any questions, of course, I will try and answer them to the best of my ability, either by coming on this character and finding out the information myself, or going into my guild on the 110 characters I have, and speaking with any of the monks that are max level and trying to get that information out to you as fast as possible. So, wherever you are in the world, you have yourself a great day or a great evening, and I hope to see you in another video.